Hello everyone, and I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and I'm just checking to see that my devices are working. This is my Wednesday's craft and chat time, and again I have two devices going. I have my Facebook Live, so welcome on Facebook. It's Wednesday's chat and craft time, and on my other device you will be seeing this probably on Friday onwards and will be on my website. So it's not Wednesday, but you still get to see what everyone gets to watch on Wednesdays. On Facebook you get to also be able to view on my website. And also through the website it goes onto YouTube. So I have three different places that you'll be able to see my Wednesdays chat and craft time, my lives, and hope you enjoy whichever YouTube, Facebook, my website, wherever you're watching from. I hope you enjoy. Again, this is Wednesday and I do my chat and craft time, and today we're going to do a craft, but before that let's get into what's happening. I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and it's a very rainy, wet day. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background. We have still got lots of snow on the ground, but hopefully in the next few days when the rain keeps coming down, it's going to get rid of the snow, and then the warmer weather will come and I will be able to paint some furniture. I do most of my big pieces in the garage and it's just too cold. Even with the heater on, it's a little too cold for the paint to set, so I'm just going to wait a few more days and then hopefully get started on a big piece. But in the meantime I've been having fun doing smaller pieces and starting with some little Valentine's things. So let's get going on today's craft. I'm going to do another cute little craft for Valentine's, and why don't you join me? Come on down and let me get you figured out. Hopefully I don't drop you, so just bear with me. Oh, there you go, I dropped you. Let's see. Perfect. I hope you didn't get sick with that. I dropped people on Facebook, so let's see on the website if I can do this a little better without dropping you. Is that good? Can you see? I think so. So let's get started. We're going to be starting with a frame, another one. So another frame. This one I got from a dollar store, just a regular dollar store, and it's just the really cheap ones, no glass. You don't need the glass anyway. So let's open this up and let's get painting. So just open it all up and let's take it apart, because I just need the frame pot right now. Now these are quite flimsy, but as I say, I just need the frame. This is what you can use to put on the back, so make sure that fits in nicely. And we're going to take this paper out and take the little tabs off, just the same as we did last Wednesday. So pull easily the paper out, don't need that. And let's pull these tabs off, which I use these to do it. And it's just easy to just grab hold of them, twist them a little bit, and they do come out. There's one, two, don't need them, so there you go. Oop. This one's being stubborn, let's get it. 3. So how is everyone today? Still January, so for most of the world it's still winter, but there are still some countries that it's actually summer. So first off, we are going to put a glaze on this to bring out the wood. So we're going to do that first, and let's put that on. So get my glaze. I think this is the one. It's just a brown glaze. Get my paintbrush. I don't have a lot left, but just basically, can you see, I'm just putting the glaze on. just easier to use glaze than to use stain, especially on something so tiny, and it does just as well and easier to use basically. As I say, I don't have much of this left. I've got to get some more, but with the weather and that, I haven't gotten it yet, because I haven't really ventured too far out in this snow to travel that far. Do inside as well, and I'm just getting this on quick because I do, as usual, need this to get dry as soon as possible. I'm hoping to do 2 different looks for you, but we may just get the one done today, we'll see. And we want to do the sides too. Need some water with this because it's getting low. That's better. I'm sure I'm going to get it all over my hands as usual. A little more. And with the glaze, when you're done, just get a cloth and just rub off what you don't need. It brings out the wood pretty nicely, even though it's dollar store cheap frame. It comes out quite nice with the glaze on it. Shows the pattern of the wood. And I just forgot to do a little bit in here, so I'm just going to go back and do that. So just bear with me while I just do inside here too. All in the edges, because any part you want to see you want covered. So there we go, just rub it off, rub it into the wood, and that's covered with the glaze. So next we're going to, I'm just going to close up this glaze, I don't have much left of it. We're going to be using these sticks. Now I've already actually stained these, as I've used it for a different craft I did, and I had some left over, and that's what inspired me to do this craft actually. So what I'm going to do, now that they're already glazed, I'm going to be sticking them on the back. So basically I'm going to stick them on the back with my glue gun all the way across. Now you need to figure out, this is a little different. This stand, you want the hole at the bottom for this stand, because it goes in like that and then goes on the bottom. So I'm going to get my glue gun and just stick these on, and a couple of them I will have to cut. I will show you as I do it, but let's get a couple of these going here. So put a little glue on each end, and then stick it in place. And you want a little bit of a gap. You want to see a little bit through of the background. So, and let's do another one, I think. Do I need to cut? Yeah, I need to cut this one a little bit. If you see why I need to cut, it's because it's going to cover the hole a little bit. So I'm just going to cut that out so that I'm not covering the hole. So just get, I think I used these, just cut this up just a little. Let's see. Yeah. So just put glue on each end again. And you can see, I'm going to stick it in place, but making sure you're not covering the hole. So the next one, obviously, I'm going to have to cut as well, so I'll just get that cut up. And then put some glue on. Hi Carol, how are you doing today? How are you? Is it cold there? Got the fire going? So yeah, I got it stuck on, making sure I still keep the hole, and then from the side we want to see, this is what you're going to see. So the next one I don't need to cut because the hole's not in my way. So this one I'm just going to stick on. Let's put some glue on each end and stick it on. And this is what you're going to get. Isn't that cute? And to put onto the back, to make it nice, I'm going to paint this black. And also to make it finish nicely too, I'm going to paint this black so it's got a nice look on the back. So I'm just going to quickly do that and show you how you can just finish it off nicely. I'm going to use the same brush because this tatty old little brush here is one of my favorites. Do you have a favorite brush? I have two favorites. This one for when I'm doing my big stuff and this one for when I'm doing smaller stuff, and I pretty much use these two for everything if I can. I can get away with it. Anyway, let's get some black paint. It's just black chalk paint. Hello Jessica, how you doing? And just paint the back just to make it look nice. All we're doing is just to make it a little bit more professional on the back. Let's paint it up. If you wanted it rustic, you could leave it, but I'm going to be putting this. I have a little place downstairs that I've started doing a Valentine's little corner, and this is going to be added to that. Get on all the edges. Push it into all the edges. Everywhere you need, and then we will leave this to dry. And I'm hoping it'll be dry enough to be able to do two different looks and be able to use this one. We'll see if that works out. Even getting low on my black paint. I'm going to have to do a paint run, I think. You can always go in and do a second coat when it's dry, but for now I think that will do. And oh, I have to still do the little peg. Hold on. Just cover it with the black, and because I'm being quick, I obviously going to get it all over my fingers, but just because I don't have the time for it to dry right now. Do the peg as well, push it in. Well, I'm doing Valentines, Jessica. This is what we're doing. Oh, it's upside down. Turn it over. I'm going to do a little Valentine's decor for your home. So that's going to dry. Now, luckily enough, where can I put this to dry? Over here. Out of my way. And I've got paint all over my fingers, so just grab a wipe. Get the paint off. And as I say, luckily I have one that I've already got to that stage. So put the black paint away. And this is what I have. This one's already dry. Already finished on the back. So the next step is we're going to be using some white paint. So put my scissors away and get, it's just basic white chalk paint. And I'm going to just do all the frame and the inside. So I'm just going to paint that up. Hoping to just do one cover with this, but with white you never know. You may need 2 coats. But I want it rustic looking, so let's see how we go. Do the sides as well. And inside. The whole thing. I'll turn it around in a minute, just being quick so I can get to the next stages for us. And do this side. It's pretty good for one coat, but I think I'm going to have to do a second coat. So let me just quickly get this first coat dry, which means, as you know, I'm going to have to put a little bit of noise on. So I'm going to just put this on. Sorry about the noise, but just get this dry. Okay, so that's almost dry. I'm now going to just quickly put on a second coat. It's always a little harder to paint and let you see what I'm doing at the same time. But I think we're getting there. The edges. As I say, I don't need it perfect. I've even got a little bit on the back here, but that's okay because I can go back over the black for the second coat for the black when I'm done. I need to get into this edge here. In all the corners. There you go. This one is another one that I have never made this before, so we are just experimenting and having some fun and see what comes out of it. You never know, could be a big mess because I'm painting. But I'm just going to quickly, put the noise on again and let's get some drying going. Hello Christine, how are you doing? I'm just going to get a cloth, wipe up the back a little because I did get some white on the back, and I don't want that everywhere. And I'll go over the back again later. So that's as dry as I can get it for now. And what I'm going to do is a little wet distress. And basically it's a cloth. This is one of my favorites because it's quite rough. And it's just got water on. And what we're going to do is just rub. Get some more water. Dry it up a little bit on me. See how I'm getting some distress going. I want it quite distressed. I want this to be very rustic. So basically I'm doing it pretty heavy. In places. If you find it's not working good, it's because you need a different part of the cloth. If you do in the corners and the edges, that's where it would be distressed more. So make sure you get those edges and corners. And there's the frame, and we're also going to do the inside. So I'm just going to hold this and do the inside. See how it's coming off? That's just from the water because it's a water-based paint. If you do the edges more, that's where you would get a lot of the distress. Just going to turn it upside down, do the edges again. And you can take your time with this. I'm just rushing a little so I can show you how I do this. I think that's pretty good for this one. What do you think? Pretty distressed? And I dropped my rack. Hold on, I'm going to put that back in the water. So there we have, this one is done. I'm going to see if the other one is ready to paint, because it would be good if we can get two gone today. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to paint this one up. And do the same thing. So just white paint, 2 coats. Get it in the edges. As I say, I don't need it to be perfect because we're distressing it anyway. And I'm going to just get this one dry. Hold on, my fingers are full of paint and I'm getting it everywhere, so let me just wipe my fingers. I am a messy painter, and especially when I'm trying to do it at angles where I can show you and rush through so I can get it dry quickly. So let's see. Yeah, as I say, it's just any cloth. What I like to do is get a rough cloth. This is it was an old tea towel that I used to have, and it is quite rough. You don't want a smooth cloth, you want a really rough one. And then I find if you use warm water, and you've got to use different parts of the cloth, because once you've got some paint off onto the cloth, it's just going to rub it back on. So keep moving around with the cloth. Sorry about the noise. I don't have one of those quiet heaters, so I have to use one of my old blow dryers. I used to use it for traveling. Just do second coat, as I say. Something on this one. Oh, what am I? Oh no, it's not my hair. It's some kind of cloth on the little string in the paint. Coat inside. Get in the corners. Don't need it to be perfect because we're going to distress it anyway. And I'm going to move my paint out of the way. And just going to put some noise on again. Sorry about that. And let's get this just dried up again. The more wet your paint, the more it'll just distress easily because it's still wet. So if you want a light distress, if you're doing pieces of furniture, that kind of thing, leave the paint overnight and let it just cure, and then you'll get fine little distress lines. But this, I want it pretty rustic, so I'm okay with it still being a little bit tacky and wet. So I'll just get some water. I got a bucket of water here, hold on. So yeah, it's just an old cloth, used to be a tea towel. It's a pretty rough one that I'm using, and some water, and just rub on. Do it in the edges because that's where you're going to get a lot of, in corners, that's where you want a lot of your distressing. And I'm doing this pretty hard because I want it really nice and distressed looking. And as you can see, I've got a lot of white off there, so this area now is not useful for me, so I need to find a different part of the rag so that I can get more off, or else you're just smudging around basically wet paint off your rags. And do the around the edges. And then find another part of the cloth. I'm going to do the inside. Having to push quite hard on this because I want to get it done and nice and really kind of rustic looking. There we go. I think that'll do. And then that one's finished too. So now that this is dry, what you would usually do is put a top coat on this so that you can seal it all. This is done, so you want to put some kind of clear coat, poly, on the top here and let that dry. but because I kind of want to show you the finished product, I will clear coat it when we're all finished and after I'm done. So right now what I would do is just leave it, let it dry, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to decorate these. So here, let me get those out of the way, clean up my hands a little bit, and basically this is what we're going to make. It's a little heart with some material. I've got many of these because I've been making some for a different project I'm doing, and you can do whatever fabric you want. I mean, this one, it even has little, it's red, and it even has little red heart, little hearts on it, so that's cute. And then this one, a bit more of a rustic one. But for this one, I'm going to use this material here. Let's see if I can grab it under everything. I want a burlap type material, but I want a little bit of definition on it, so I'm going to make some hearts out of this and just make one. So what I did was I went to the dollar store because I wanted a heart that's a good size, and I just grabbed these and I just use this as a template for basically making these. So you're going to put it on the piece of material you want, fold the material in half so you can get two, and then just cut around it. Okay, so I'm just going to find a piece of material that I want a little bit of writing, a little bit of rustic, a little bit of everything. So let's see if I can get something that's interesting. And I want it folded in two, but the other one, the other side, the back side, it doesn't matter what it looks like. So here we go. And I'm just going to cut round this with my scissors so I have two hearts. So just bear with me while I cut this out. And it would be even quicker if, again, I had some actual fabric scissors, but I don't. This material is pretty easy to cut. So just cut around, and this is the quickest way to do two hearts pretty much identical, right? Instead of cutting out two separately and they don't match up very well, if you do them at the same time, you know they're going to match up when you stick them back together. If you can sew, this is an ideal little craft to do. It would look so much nicer if you could sew, but unfortunately I cannot sew. That's one thing I can't do, haven't learned, and that's basically, my mum always did my sewing for me. Hi Xander, how you doing? And she always sewed everything for me. She was a beautiful seamstress, and I never had to learn, so basically she always did the sewing for me, and that's why to this day I still can't sew. So what I'm going to do is stick glue gun around the edges, but what I have here, I have a very old cushion that I don't use anymore, so I'm taking the stuffing out. I'm using this to just make it a little padded. So I just want to put a little in, not too much. You don't want it bulging, you don't want it round, you just want a little bit of texture. So I have my glue gun ready, and what I'm going to do is put the glue on the bottom part here first. Stick this on and then put the stuffing inside. So I'll try and show you what I'm doing here. Get my glue gun, go along the edges, and just take your time, a little bit of time, no rush on this. Try and get it in place, and then put, I think that's a little bit too much, the stuffing inside. And once you've got it all glued in place, you can move it around and have it all kind of all nice and even. So if it's not quite even right now, that's okay, because you can squish it around after. And just keep going around the edges, gluing them together. And without burning your fingers, just try and hold down the edges. And I'm just going to wipe off the glue. I've got lots of glue on my fingertips here. I don't want it sticking. So this is going to be the side, that's my front. So we're going to attach, I've left a little bit here, I'm going to attach some string, rope, whatever ribbon you want to put in here. So I'm going to get some, I got some twine here. I'm going to attach this, but first I'm going to do, let's see, a little, yeah, I don't think I need this much. So I'm just going to put this end here, I'm going to glue it inside. So just put a little glue in the top here and push down in there and then hold it all together. So basically you have this. So while that's drying there, and then I'm going to tie the top and try and do, if I can, you know me and bows, try and do a bow. And then I can cut away what I don't need. Let's see. Ooh, I pulled it out. That's not good. Stick that back in and I guess hold it in place for a little longer. Just going to hold it in place. And then I try and make my bow look pretty. And as I say, you know me, I can't do bows, I'm terrible at them. But it's not equal. Didn't like it. Gonna make another one. Hold on. I think it's because I mess around with the bows so much, I actually make it worse than it needs to be. But no, I don't enjoy making bows. They're too finicky. Cut the end off that you don't need. Make sure your bow's tight. I still don't have it even, but I'm going to show you basically the best I can do, and then I'll play around with it later because, as I say, I've still got to seal this anyway. No, still not liking that. Hold on, sorry guys, you're going to be mad at me watching me trying to make a bow. You know I can't make them. I have a better idea. I'm going to do a bow down here. Ah, see, this is going to be good. Bow down here. And then to cut the string exactly. We're going to do it on this first one because this one's dry. Can you see that? I'm going to use my glue gun to stick it in place. So it's going to go around here. In place. Without getting it all over my fingers and everywhere else. Hold on. Oh, I'm messy today. I'm in a messy mood. And what I have here, I'm prepared. I can do this. I already had a bow ready. And there you go. Finished. This one's done. As I say, the paint needs to have a clear coat on it. I would repaint the back where I got a little bit of white on the back and just clear coat that too with the black, but this one's finished. It's very subtle. It is Valentine's, but I don't do it so much out there. But again, you can use different materials, different ones. You can have it however you want it to be. You can do more than one. Put whatever you want in there. All the different materials give it a completely different look. So there you go for that one. And what I'm going to do, as I peel off all this glue off my fingers, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with the second one, because it's slightly different. And one thing I have, oh, there it is. I thought I'd lost this, so let's stand it up, shall we? Let's see if I can get it stood up. There you go, so you can see it better. Now what I'm going to do with this one, if I can find where I put, oh there they are. I'm doing what I did last week. If you remember, I used the molds. I did one heart one. I did this heart one here. You know how you do this. I've shown you a few times. Put a little cornstarch in, press in the air clay and pull it out and let it dry. Before you let it dry, I put a little hole in, and we're going to paint this. And then also I have a key one here. So I did the same. So it's just a little cornstarch in, put the air clay in, pulled it out, and the frames I got from the dollar store. They don't have glass in them, they didn't come with glass, it was just from the dollar store, so pretty cheap. And I painted this one already in the silver, and I'm going to now just go over it with the white paint, and I'll show you why in a minute. So just get a little of the white paint and just go over it. Don't have to cover it completely. And again, just because it's white paint, you may have to do 2 coats, but we'll see. And I've covered over the silver, and I'm going to use the cloth again in a minute when it's dry to just pull off some of that white, so it looks kind of distressed. Wipe my fingers because I have glue and paint everywhere. So yeah, I've shown this on a few different videos, different lives, and I'm going to show it again soon because I do use the clay quite often. So if you get a little cornstarch on some, I'll show you here, on your brush, just a little like this, and you put it in the mold and then flick it back out so it's just covering lightly, and then when you put the air clay in, the clay doesn't stick to the mold. It comes out nicely with your pattern. So basically, you put your clay in, and when it comes out with the pattern nicely, and it's easier to come out. So that's why I use the cornstarch. So that's what that's for. A little bit of a tip there. So on the heart, I'm going to do this one. My same favourite colour as last week. If I can find a little brush here. This one will do. I'm going to use this one. It's a think it's a lavender, not sure, but it's very pretty light lilac. Even though I'm doing Valentines, I didn't want bright red or bright pink. I just wanted to do something a little subtle for the heart. So I'm just going to paint it lightly with it. It's a beautiful colour, you'll see. We did this with the lantern last week, the same colour, same heart actually, I believe. And just cover loosely around. The heart I'm just going to paint, I'm not distressing it, I'm only distressing the key. So just nice coat, I only need, it's a nice thick paint this one actually, so I only need one cover. There you go, isn't it a pretty colour? I really like that colour, so I'm going to just let that dry. Put this away, because I know me, if I get too many different paints out, I end up knocking one of them over. And wipe my fingers a little. So I'm going to just get the cloth again and just distress this a little bit. Hello guys, how are you doing? So I'll get my cloth and just basically, if you see the pattern here, just rub over. And you can see it's a bit more rustic. So there you go. So it's not completely silver. Hello Eli, how you doing? It's a rustic key that has a little white on it, a little silver on it, and now we're going to just let that dry while I wipe my fingers down and then do my not favourite part, because we need to now attach it again. So let's do that. So I'm going to make another bow out of this. Ooh, good. Eli is my husband and he is going to be prepping dinner soon, so that's going to be nice. He's making dinner tonight. It's his turn. He'll say it's always his turn. So I made a bow for this, got it nice and tight, and I'm going to get some string and let's see if I can thread these together. Again, this has got the clay on it. You need to put sealer on if you want it to stay for a long time. I just don't have the time today to do that. So I'm going to put some string through this one and this one. I'm going to put it through the same if I can. See if I can get it through. Put it this way, I think. Holes one way. There you go. And I'm going to cut it there. And use my, oops. I want to be able to see both, so I want them different lengths. If you see what I mean. And I think I want the heart higher. Cut the axis off and we're going to stick it around here. what I'm doing here to stick it on so I don't burn my fingers. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue up here. Hold on. I am burning my fingers here. Oh, it's hot, very hot. Just hold it in place. Take all the stringy bits off. And I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the heart one because I want it a little higher. So I'll show you what I'm doing here in a minute, just bear with me. And I don't know if anybody's realised why I have a key and a heart. Anybody thought of that for Valentine's? The significance of doing a key and a heart? Nobody think of that yet? Just going to cut this. Oh, got a dangly glue bit here. No? So you can say you've got the key to their heart, right? And there it is, finished. You've got the key to the heart. And there's another Valentine's. So 2 different looks, same frames, same kind of way of doing it, and there you go, they're finished. So I will clean them up and I will take some pictures and display them tomorrow and put them on my page. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching my chat and craft time. Yes, key to my heart. There you go, Christine. So that's my Wednesdays at 4:30. I do a craft and chat live on my Facebook page, and I also record it onto my website. Thank you, Carol. If you could sprinkle to others to see what I'm doing, that would be wonderful for my business. And also I go live. Thank you very much, Christine. I also go live on Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. It's all Pacific Standard Time, so that's on the West Coast here. And I just do basically a quick live to show you my displays and what I have for my open house, because at noon every Saturday I do an open house. So I am Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and I'd like to say thank you for watching. And I think next week we're not going to do the craft. I think we might do, maybe I'll show you some techniques on a piece of furniture. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better and do a little bit of that. We'll see what's coming up. I've got now some couple of different crafts that I've done now for Valentine's. I don't go out and do lots of Valentines, and I don't do it, as I say, reds and pinks and all that kind of stuff. I like it a little bit subtle, a little bit rustic, so that's the way it is. And again, thank you for watching. I'm Julie, and this is Julie's Everything Treasures. Sprinkle more what I've got going on here so that everybody can watch, and have a good evening. Thanks for watching.